Hey everybody, Eve here. Today's subject is kind of serious, and I'm going to pose a very serious question to my YouTube subscribers and entire YouTube audience out there. Have you or anyone you know successfully accessed and paid off all of your debts with your Treasury Direct Account or TDA account? Now, I'm going to have links under this video that will explain what all of this is. But because it would take many hours and many videos to actually define precisely so that everyone could understand it perfectly what a TDA account is. It is something that is tied to your Social Security number and your birth certificate, and that you have access to your Treasury Direct account to pay off legal debts. So today's question, or not question, but facts I'm going to be laying down for you is, although yes, there was a question, have you or anyone you know legally accessed your TDA account? And if so, why not share that with the rest of the world? I am tired of seeing all of these YouTube videos about how to legally do this and access these accounts, and there's people charging several $100s for the information when actually I can send you to websites where all of that information is free, okay? If this is something that actually legally exists and we're all entitled to it, why aren't more people sharing that? Because that could make us all sovereign and all free. So again, I don't want to get into trying to define precisely what the Treasury Direct Account is and how it works and what it all means and being sovereign, and it gets crazy, folks. I mean, this is Alice through the looking glass, down the rabbit hole that once you start, it's so convoluted and there's so much gobbledygook and legal jargon. You don't even want to go there. It's crazy town. Even though you may or may not have this account, a TDA or Treasury Direct account, I don't know whether it's a scam or not. In fact, I actually believe it does exist. However, I don't know whether it's actually legal for you to access it and pay off your debt. Therein is where the problems lie, because I've heard of a lot of people going to jail, and there's a ton of websites, which will be in the links below, from the federal government, Federal Reserve, FBI, other different types of agencies telling you that this is not something you can legally do and that you're at risk if you do it. But I'm saying if there's someone that's done it, let us know. Share that with us. And so while this account may or may not exist, I assure you that you do not have the legal right to access this account to pay off debts. That's my theory based on my research, and I started researching this, I don't know, 10 years ago. I've heard about it even, in the 90s. That's the first time I heard of it. And that was back in the day when I'm like, another conspiracy theory. But there's a lot of things that I actually believe to be facts, such as our straw man or maritime law. But I don't want to say a lot of these terms because I don't want this YouTube video flagged, because I'm not an enemy of the state. I'm just saying, I've heard of this stuff, researched it somewhat, may or may not be legit. Really doesn't matter, because it's true. We're not in control anyway, are we? We are owned. The United States is a corporation, okay? And it's owned by another entity, another country. I'm not even going to mention that country, because to be honest with you, if you look at the sort of the way that I've looked at it and done my research, this is like the mafia. This is like going up against the mafia. These big corporations, these big, whatever they are, families, entities. What terms do you want to use? Really, it doesn't matter. Take your pick. You're going to end up in a bad situation at the hands of these bad people who have all of the power, all of the money, and own you, right? Own you from birth. Said, Links will be provided below with information that will define more of what this is. But here is my warning. Do not take the risk and pay the money to these people who are claiming that they will sell you this information so that you can legally access this account. No, please don't do that. Because like I said, even if everything that's been said heretofore is the truth, that still does not mean you have legal access to these accounts or have the right to pay off your debt. I honestly believe these accounts have been set up. Absolutely. But I didn't set them up. Somebody else did. And, someone could come into your house and have all these legal documents and say, I own this house. And you're like, wait a minute, I have the deed to this house. This is my house. But I can assure you, there is somebody somebody's going to do this in the future. They're just going to walk up, knock on your door and say, look, I have these legal documents and I'm going to occupy your house. It's mine. It's not yours. Doesn't matter how many deeds you have. I can prove that it's mine. So, that's just because somebody's making a claim doesn't mean that it's authentic or accurate or even legal. So that's my warning, and you heard the challenge. If you or someone you know has legally accessed their Treasury Direct account to pay off debts, and those amounts have not been reversed and no legal, and those people aren't incarcerated like most of the people that I've heard access these accounts they're incarcerated, then share that with everybody. And here's my theory. My theory is this challenge for people to come forward that have successfully accessed their Treasury Direct accounts and share that information with other people. I've got a feeling it's going to be the sound of crickets. I think I hear crickets. Yeah, I think I hear crickets. I don't think anybody's going to do it. So that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. In the meantime, while you're here, thumbs up, comment on, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And while you're subscribing to my YouTube channel, ring that notification bell for future video uploads. Yeah, come on, people. Don't do it. It may exist, but don't do it.